Okay, so she had some time to dry now, and the roof is all set. That little skylight in the back looks pretty good. We got the grates in, and we're ready to move on. We're actually going to work on the doors and sanding down of the bulkheads to streamline the hull. But first things first, we finished, let's see, section H. So now we're going to move over to section I of the instruction manual. You can see we have to put supports in, and I think that's going to be to support the planking. We're going to do that at the bow and the stern, and then we're going to have to streamline it. We're actually going to start sanding down the bulkhead walls or the ribs. You can see once we get it all nice and smooth where the planks slide up and down and make it nice and streamlined. After that's all set, then we're going to start doing the photo etch. You can see the doors, we'll paint them black, and then we'll dry brush them white. We'll put the hardware on, and you can see the little L-shaped pieces that we have to put in. Looks like we're going to do one on top and one on the bottom, because we did one for the other side a while back. But this one looks like it's going to be for the looks like the port side. Alright, so first thing we got to do is when it comes, actually, I'll show you guys my notes. So again, this is for section 9, part 9, section I. We'll cut out the supports, so we got to glue them at the bow and at the stern. We'll sand down the bulkhead walls to streamline so we can run the planks smoothly over them. We're going to paint the doors black, and we need 4 of them. We're going to dry brush with white, and then we're going to do the hardware. We're going to glue the doors into position, and finally we're going to do those cross sections and the ship. It doesn't look like we this section doesn't look like it's going to show, so I don't think we have to stain that. You can see we got to stain the sides that are going to face the opening. So why don't we go ahead now, and we're going to start looking for pieces. Let's see, that's I1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's bring the ship back. Okay, so let's put these in now. So let's start with the bow section, and we'll flip her over. Alright, now we're going to do the stern, since we got everything on the side. So let's kind of move her over. And And 13 is going to go all the way in the back, and 14 will be second. Okay, so we got these glued on. Let me show you guys. And at the bow, so she's getting pretty tricky to handle now. Okay, so now it looks like we have to actually start to sand her down. And we're gonna smooth her out to make her more streamlined. So let me show you guys. See how the front is square? Well, what we got to do is we actually have to smooth it down to make it streamlined, like it's gonna, almost like a torpedo or a shark. So we're gonna wait for these to dry first, and then because we're gonna work on staining and painting some of the stuff before we do this. So let's go ahead, we're gonna put her aside. Okay, so that will set, and we'll be able to use the walnut stain on these sections. I didn't cut them in half. I'm going to see if I can actually get them into the ship solid. Because I thought there was going to be 3 pieces, but there's not. There's 2. But because it's going to be a little awkward to get inside, but I tried to fit it with 1 piece, so I did get it in. But anyway, we're going to let that set. So let's put that over there. What we got to do now is we got to think about doing the doors. So there are 4 doors. And if you remember, these were part E13. Okay. That's going to be stained with the walnut dye. These are going to be painted black. And then we got to use the white for the dry brush. I just want to make sure that that's everything we have to color. Okay. So we are going to use the walnut dye as well as the black. So these slides aren't stained because they're going to be facing the opposite direction, so we'll leave them open for now. Okay, so we got that stained, and there's a couple of areas where the glue was that the stain won't seep, so I'll just kind of dab a little bit of paint on that. Okay, so now we're going to paint the doors. There we are. I just want to touch up these glue areas. Okay, so that's all set. So what we got to do is we got to wait for this to dry. In the meantime, we got to do some sanding. Yeah, we got a fresh set of sandpaper on the block. Okay, so what we got to do is we need to sand her down. So let's flip her over. And this is actually square. What we need to do is we need to smooth it out. Basically take away this corner and streamline the ship. So let's see how I'm going to be able to do this for you guys to see. Let me do a section. See how it's kind of becoming streamlined? And what we got to get it to do, let me put it where nothing's going to happen to her. What we got to do is we got to take a plank and we need to run it just like this. Make sure that it's streamlined and then it goes all the way up to the top. See how it's we're going to run it along that first bulkhead. this one is a little closer to being in shape than the other side. So let me see if I can get it a head-on shot for you guys. See how it's starting to look symmetrical on both sides? So now we'll go down and we'll smooth it out the side now. So the back end or the aft end didn't need it as much as the bow section did. Alright, so that looks good. I think what we can do now is we can go ahead and we can glue in the other section that's going to hide the lights. See, I hope you can see what we put in on the upper deck on the first time. Well, now we got to put in the second one just below that. And what that's going to do is this is going to hide the lights. The lights are going to go inside and it's going to be hidden from the area when we're looking in. But lastly, just to show you how the stripping or the planks are going to fit. About there. So I don't want the cut ends to meet. I want the straight lines to meet. I want to line it up with the one on the other deck. That looks good. There. Okay, we gotta let this set, so let me show you guys how it looks. You can see the one underneath. Alright, so we gotta put this ship aside and let that set. Alright, now we gotta take the doors, and there are some things that we need to do now to prep it before we put the hardware on. So we actually have to dry brush it. And what we're going to do now is we're going to dry the outside of the brush. Hence the term dry brush. Maybe do the corners. Yeah, I think it looks a little better with the edges highlighted. And we got one more. So see how we just kind of streak? That looks really cool. Then we'll highlight the edges. There. Nice. Okay, the doors are all painted. So we're going to take a moment and I got to clean the brush, clean the mess up, and then we'll be able to put the hardware on. Okay, we got 5 So we got 20 of them, because we're going to need 5 per door. And we got 4 doors. All right. So what we got to do now is we have to take the hinges and get them off of the photo etch tree. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we're gonna need 2 per door. So that's 2, 4, 6. We're gonna need 8 right off the bat. Okay, so we got 4 doors, so we needed 8 of them. So we got 8 of them off, and I'm gonna put the photo etch back away. Not enough to really stick them. I don't want to clog up the holes, but I do want to get them to stay in place. So there's a piece that's a little bit larger. It almost looks like an arrow, and the arrow goes on the inside. Alright, we'll give that a minute to set, and then what we'll do is we'll drive the nails in. Let's see, what can I use? I'll use this. So let's move the iron. And we did this one first, so let's see if the glue is setting. It's pretty good. I think what I'll do first is we'll do the doorknob, because I want to show you guys what we're going to do, just to give the hinges a little more time to set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this. We're going to put it right about here, just like a real doorknob. And eventually we're going to drive it all the way through, but we're going to keep it a little bit out, just so it'll make a doorknob. So let's do the same thing with the other ones now. Actually, the glue's still a little bit wet, so let's drive this through. Yeah, that looks good. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to cut the back. Just like that. And you can see we've got the doorknob and we've got the hinges, but we've got to put the nails into the hinges now. So I'm going to do the same thing now. Okay, so when we bang the nails through, you can see how they look. Now we got to push them all the way through to the edge, to the other side. And I think I can actually use my fingers to do that. We don't have to use the hammer. There. That does really look pretty cool. Okay, so now what we got to do is we need to snip off the ends. And this door is ready. That does look really cool. Okay, but let's do the next one. And I think I'll start with the hinges now because they're a little bit more, they're a little drier. There. So let's push them through. Here we are, and we got the second one done. Yeah, and that's the fourth and final door for this section. So we can put this back. All right, before we glue the doors on, there is a piece I6 that's going through the ship, and it's right over there where the deck is. So I'm going to cut a piece. I'm not going to glue it in place yet, just because I don't know what's going on with that section. Alright, like I said, I'm not quite sure what this is for yet, but we have to put it in. And this is going to go, I want the cut end on the bottom. So this is going to go in, let's line up the hole. Alright, so like I said, I'm not gonna glue it just because I don't know what's going to go there yet. So we'll fix that when the time comes, but that's in place. Okay, so now what we got to do is we actually have to glue the doors. And this doorknob is going to be the opposite direction. I don't know if it's doing that because they're close together like that, but like I said, we'll follow it this way. So that's what we got for the doors, and that's at the bow section. Alright, so you can see that door is in. Here we are. Okay, we got the doors in. Let's go over the what we've done so far. Okay, so when it comes to step 9, we had to cut out, glue the supports and the keel between the bulkheads, and we did that. We sanded down the bulkheads at the bow, the sides and the stern, and we ran the plank to make sure it was smooth. We did the doors, we painted them black, We dry brushed with the white. We put the photo etch pieces in. We put the doorknobs and the door hinges. We glued them into place. And then we glued the little strips that are going to hide the lights in the bottom. So let me show you guys that little strip. Again, we didn't have to stain it because it's going to be on the side that's going to be walled in. We put the little planks on, those little pieces at the bow and at the stern for the planking to go on. And then we kind of sanded everything down to make sure it was going to be symmetrical. And we put the doors on. So that completes section I of the instruction manual. So don't look now, but we're going to be up to section J in the next video. So my friends, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.